today's TV version of Beacons of Light with Dr. Joe and Miss Rosemary, I talked faster than anybody out there in the audience thought I could. We had so much good things to talk about that it just literally ran out of time. So that's where these web episodes give us an opportunity to kind of continue the conversation and capture some of the things that maybe we didn't talk about in the show. Thank you again, Rosemary and Dr. Joe, for joining me on this special web episode. Dr. Joe, one thing we didn't capture in the show, but I thought was very important to discuss, is that we talked about you teaching at LSU. You talked about Father Ton, and you talked about how inspirational the clergy are in this diocese. Talked about how Miss Rosemary, as a layperson, is inspirational. Why do you think people that kind of live Christ in a very powerful sense, how that inspires others?
Well, it's a model, and it is a model of sacrifice. It is a model of, excuse me, it is a model of dedication and steadfastness in principles. And that is really what has helped me so much in my life, is that you have to have principles, and you got to stick to them. And you will be tested along the way, and you will be tested, and you've got to meet that demand.
And you got to pass the test.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And Miss Rosemary, we talk about tests. I want to ask you, in the show you shared this special thing, and I've seen it, I've witnessed it, where you have a little basket there, box, that has toys in it for the kids as they come through the line. What inspired you to do that? What told you, that's not a regular practice at St. Vincent de Paul. What inspired you to say, hey, I'm serving a meal, that's the most important thing I can give this child, but I want to give something more?
Well, when they come through the line and, they get the tray, or their parents carry the tray, and I almost see on their face a look, is that all there is? And so I started at garage sales. I remember one garage sale I went to, the lady had a box this big, and it was just full. And I said to her, how much is that? And she said, they're 25 cents each. And I said, look, I work at St. Vincent de Paul, and we have a lot of little kids come through. Would you take $5 for the whole box? And she said, St. Vincent de Paul? And I said, yes. And she said, no, I won't, but I'll give it to you.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's beautiful.
And she knew what was going to happen. It was going to go to these little kids that come through the line. And they are always so, like I said, they have a smile on their face like you have on. Right now. Yeah.
Well, I'm on camera, so I got to have that smile. But those kids aren't on camera. Yeah. But it is priceless, that picture. And what would your message, Rosemary, be to people that are out there saying, I've thought about volunteering at St. Vincent de Paul, but I haven't done it? What would your encouragement be?
I'm going to give you the phone number. Do it today, and you will be very glad you did.
That is, and the number is 383-7837. And Dr. Joe, what would your message be to somebody who maybe recently retired, or they've thought about volunteering at St. Vincent de Paul? You heard Rosemary's message. Mm-hmm. Why would you encourage them to do so?
It is a process of sharing. It's a process of learning. You come into contact with people you probably don't come into contact with. And you come to understand a great part of humanity, the want, the poverty, the need, and it is very enriching to have that insight.
Well, Dr. Joe, Rosemary, thank y'all both so very much for coming and sharing your experiences at St. Vincent de Paul and how it strengthened your faith lives. And we hope you enjoy this special web episode. See you again next week on Beacons of Light.